Hello, students. In your previous economics class, we have studied that people of a country are a resource. Whether the country has rich natural resources or mineral resources, though a country has or has not. But if people are well educated and if people are skilled and if people are healthy, that country become a rich country in the world. Now, example is one of the richest. Japan is one of the richest country in the world, though it do not have many natural resources because of its human resources. Now, when people can become an asset to the country, when they are fit, when they are healthy, when they are self-dependent, and when they can contribute for the country's development. But unfortunately, even after 70 plus years of independence, in many people in our country, they are still living in poverty. In our day, in our daily life, we come across people who we think are poor. They could be landless laborers in villages or people living in crowded juggies in cities. They could also be beggars with children in tatters. We see poverty all around us. In fact, every fourth person in India is poor. This means that almost a 260 million population in the country are living in poverty. This also means that India has the largest single concentration of the poor in the world. So, India is ahead of many countries in most of the things, but at the same time, it is also ahead in terms of poverty also. Now, this is one of the serious issue we are facing in our country. So many governments are changing, but still the poverty is remaining in our country. So let us first see two examples. One, the poor people. It is an example of Ram who is living in urban area. He is a wage worker. He works in a wheat flour mill in Ranchi, Jharkhand. He manages to earn around 1500 rupees per month, and in his family there are six members, including him and his wife. He himself, his wife, and four children. And his elder son is of 12 years, and the younger one is 6 months old. He has to send money to his old parents also, who live in a nearby village, and they live in a rented home. Now, as they are migrated from village, they don't own a house. And his wife Shanta Devi, she works as a domestic help in the houses and she earns 800 rupees per month. And what they are earning is a meager. His elder son works as a helper in a tea shop, and now what he earns is only 300 rupees. His 10-year-old daughter takes care of the younger siblings. None of the children go to school and have only two pairs of second-hand clothes. Shoes are a luxury for them. The children have no health care when they fall ill. Now, this is the condition of a urban worker, and he lives in a slum, and he takes a room for rent. And what he is earning, the total family income is 1500 plus 800 plus 300, total of 2600 rupees per month. Six members should live in that. Along with that, they will also have to send some money to the old parents. Now, how they can imagine to send their children to school? They are not able to send their children to school because one son is going to help the father financially, and the other children, the second daughter, she is taking care of the remaining children, so none of them are going to school. And there is one more example of Lakha Singh, who lives in a village in Uttar Pradesh. His family doesn't own any land and they don't have any big jobs. At times they are paid 50 day wages. He works as a day worker, and he gets 50 rupees per day. Now this 50 rupees per month, it will be around 1500 again. The family has the family of 8 cannot always manage 2 square meals a day. It is difficult for that 8 members to have at least 2 times meals per day. They live in a kacha hut in the outskirts of the village. The women of the family spend the day chopping fodder and collecting firewood in the fields. He had to start earning when he was 10 years old. His father, a TB patient, passed away 2 years ago due to lack of medication. His mother now suffers from the same disease, and life is also slowly ebbing away. Although the family has a village has a primary school, Laka never went there. He started earning when he was 10. New clothes are bought once in a few years, and even soap and oil are a luxury for the family. So the people, whether they are living in a rural area or an urban area, the poverty is remaining the same. Precisely what is happening? The family is unable to get proper food. They cannot even imagine of a nutritious food and a balanced diet. They are unable to send their children to school. They are unable to feed their children properly. They don't have proper clothes. They don't own a proper home, and even they are unable to get proper health facilities because of their poverty, because their income is low. Poverty is looked through social indicators like literacy level, lack of general resistance due to malnutrition. Now, when people are living in poverty, first thing what they cannot access is, even proper food. They will think of filling their stomach, but they don't think of having nutritional food. They don't they, they can't even imagine of a balanced diet, because of which they are more prone to the diseases. Children will be underweight, and they suffer because of different types of illness, and they can't get pure water. Sanitation facilities are not available. Now all these things indicate poverty. Now these are the indicators of poverty. Based on the exclusion and vulnerability is now becoming very common. Now estimates of poverty in India. In the rural areas, in 1973 and 74, in rural areas, 261 million population was in poverty, and in urban areas, 60. And by 1993 and 94, the rural poverty has come down to 244, whereas it has increased to 76 millions in urban areas. And in rural areas, it has increased to 193, and in urban it has fallen down to 67. Now this is the data which is collected during the survey of 2002 and 3. It shows that the poverty is still increasing and not decreasing. Now this is a serious issue where poverty has to be removed from the country. Unless we completely erase this poverty from the country, India will always remains as a developing country only. Now, which vulnerability, which kind of people, or which group of people are more prone to poverty? Usually, the scheduled tribes, 51%, and in urban casual workers, rural agricultural laborers, scheduled caste, average Indian. Now, these are the people who are more prone to poverty. Other than this, even the single women, widows, or handicapped people, these are the people who are more expected to be in poverty in our country. Now, poverty line. What is called as poverty? Actually, it depends. It depends on their income. as well as their consumption levels, food consumption levels. The person is considered poor if his or her income or consumption level falls below a given minimum level. So, what basic food requirement he should have? If a person is having even less than that, then that person is considered as living in poverty. So, according to the survey, it is said that the people who are living in rural areas, they should consume minimum of 2,400 calories, and the people living in urban areas, they should consume 2,100 calories. And the calories should contain different things like milk, meat, oil, vegetables, fruits, pulses, and so on. But actually, it is not happening. Poverty ratio in the selected states. So the poverty ratio in Orissa is 47.2%, in Bihar it is 42.6%, Madhya Pradesh it is 37.4%, and so on. So the state with, now it is a union territory. This is done before bifurcation of Jammu and Kashmir as union territories. So at the time, the poverty level is only 3.5% in Jammu and Kashmir, and in Punjab it is 6.2%. Poverty comparison among selected countries. So in Nigeria, 70.8% of the population has poverty, and Bangladesh 36, India 35.3% of the population, and Sri Lanka has only 5.6% population in poverty. Now, what are the causes for the poverty? Low level of economic development under the British colonial administration. So we can see that if Britishers would not have plundered our wealth, India would be standing in one of the richest countries in the world. So they have exploited, so they have discriminated, they forced the people to collect the taxes. They did not think of the benefit of the country or the people. So this is one of the root cause, and the failure at both the fronts, promotion of economic growth and the population. And we can also say that overpopulation of the country is also one of the reason that government is unable to curb this poverty problem. Irregular and small incomes, huge income inequalities. In the same country, few people are there who are extremely rich, and few people are extremely poor. So both the things are there in the same country. Social and cultural factors are also one of the reason for the poverty, and economic factors. For example, if a person is, we have seen example of Ram and Lakha Singh. Now they are poor, because of that they are not able to send their children to school, they are not giving proper food. So again their children will also have to adopt the same ways, same means of earning when they grow up. And again the same thing continues again. Lakha Singh's grandchildren also will have to do the same thing. So unless they are skilled, or unless they have good health and they have good education, this problem of poverty cannot be removed. So the government has made some initiatives like NRG NREGA, National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, according to which minimum 100 days of employment will be created, and like people, those who do not find any employment, work will be provided for them. And if the government is unable to provide any employment, they will also receive some pension. And another thing is National Food for Work program, which was launched in the year 2004. According to this, the National Food for Work program was launched by the Minister of Rural Development, central government, on 14 November 2004 in 150 of most of the background districts of India. The main objective of this is generating supplementary wage employment. So, as a as a part of this, they will also get food for work. and this program is open to all the rural poor who are prepared to do manual work and unskilled work. And another policy which was implemented by government is Prime Minister Rozgar Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Yojana, and it is intended to employ over million people by starting 7 lakh micro ventures by the jobless educated youth. It recounts to the starting of the self-employment schemes through commerce, service and business means. Rural employment generation program was launched in the year 1995. So in the rural areas, the the skill development also takes place, and they will also given some work to do, because of which, if they are not educated, at least they will have the skill to work, and like handicrafts, they will make that and they will get some employment. And if they need any financial assistance for buying raw materials, the financial institutes are also set up to provide loans for those people. Now Swarna Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana was launched in the year 1991. It aims at providing self-employment to villages through the establishment of self-help groups. Now, self-help groups is an important concept where people, they form as a group, they make a fixed deposit in the bank, and after 6 months, when that, they will deposit every month some amount in the bank, and that amount can be taken and that can be used as an investment for starting a business by any one of the member. And again, this is a good concept which can remove poverty, because directly the poor people cannot go to the banks for getting the loans. And one more is Pradhana Mantri Gramodaya Yojana, launched in the year 2000, and its main objective is to achieve sustainable human development at the village level. And they had developed 5 components, that is primary health, primary education, rural shelter, rural drinking water and nutrition. And one more program is Antyodaya Anna Yojana, and it is sponsored for 10 million poorest families in the country. And for and through this 35 kilograms of rice or wheat, and it is sold for a very less price of 3 rupees and 2 rupees respectively. Now, what are the challenges ahead? Challenges that still remain, that providing healthcare for all the people living in the country is still a puzzle for the government, and even providing educational opportunities and attaining gender equality, and there is no respect for the poor. Now, these are all the tasks in front of the government. So the day all these things are overcome, India also will be standing among the richest countries in the world. Poverty reduction is expected to make better progress in the next 10 to 15 years. This would be possible only due to higher economic growth, increasing stress on universal free elementary education, declining population growth, increasing empowerment of women, and economically weaker sections of the society. So, this problem cannot be solved only by providing temporary schemes. So, first thing, the root cause should be fine and it should be removed. So it can be possible when the people are aware, and when the people are educated, and when the people are healthy. Hope this video is